Are you over 60 and noticing that even though you eat well, you are feeling weaker every single day? It is not just old age. It is a silent thief called sarcopenia, and it is stealing your independence right under your nose. For many seniors, the golden years are being cut short by a condition most people never hear about until it is too late. Sarcopenia is the aggressive and progressive loss of muscle mass and physical strength. Unlike the gentle, natural aging process we all expect, sarcopenia is a high-speed metabolic imbalance where your body breaks down muscle tissue significantly faster than it can ever hope to rebuild it. It is a silent predator because you do not see the muscle fibers vanishing in the mirror, but you absolutely feel the devastating impact in your daily life. Think about the last time you went shopping. Does carrying those groceries feel suspiciously heavier than it did just a few years ago? Do you find yourself needing to push off the armrest just to stand up from your favorite chair? Or perhaps you have noticed that keeping your balance while walking requires just a bit more intense focus than it used to. These are not just minor inconveniences. They are the red flags of a body in crisis. The true danger of sarcopenia lies in how it systematically erodes your independence, turning simple tasks into massive hurdles and dramatically increasing your risk of life-altering falls and fractures. Even those who consider themselves active and believe they are eating a healthy diet are often falling victim to this muscle-wasting condition. Why? Because they are missing the specific nutritional building blocks required for essential muscle maintenance. Your muscles are in a constant state of flux, and without the right intervention, you are losing the battle against time. The good news is that recognizing these early signs is your first step toward total recovery. By understanding the targeted nutritional intervention you need at breakfast, you can halt this silent loss and reclaim the strength and vitality you thought was gone forever. Now, you might be wondering, how do we actually fight back against this silent thief? I want you to think of your muscles not as static objects, but as a living renovation project that is constantly being updated. It is not magic, my friend. It is actually a very structured two-step biological dance that happens inside you every single day. The first step is something you are already doing. Whenever you stay active, whether you are gardening or simply walking to the mailbox, you are creating tiny, microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. I know, hearing that you are tearing your muscles sounds a bit scary, right? But here is the secret. Those little micro injuries are actually the essential triggers your body needs to grow. It is your body's natural way of saying, hey, we need to be a little bit tougher for tomorrow. The second step is the repair phase. This is where the real work happens. Your body senses those tiny tears and goes into a full-scale repair mode, sending out healing cells to patch up the damage. This process makes the fibers thicker and more resilient than they were before. This is exactly how you stay strong and independent. But here is the crucial point that so many of us overlook. This entire repair factory cannot run on empty. It requires very specific building blocks to function, and the most critical time for this is right after you wake up. Think of your breakfast as the on switch for your muscle building factory. If your morning meal lacks those necessary nutrients, your body is essentially robbed of its ability to fix the damage from the day before. Instead of gaining strength as you start your day, your body is forced into survival mode. It begins to cannibalize its own muscle tissue just to find the energy to keep you moving. You are literally eating away your own progress. Choosing the wrong foods in the morning does not just slow you down, it actually speeds up the aging process. So if breakfast is that crucial on switch for our muscle building factory, as we talked about earlier, what happens when we flip that switch the wrong way every single morning? Believe it or not, it often starts with something that seems completely harmless and even comforting, like a simple slice of white bread. I know it is a staple in many of our kitchens, but here is the truth that might surprise you. White bread is actually one of the most damaging things you can put in your body if you want to keep your muscles strong after 60. Here is what is really going on under the surface. The moment that white bread hits your stomach, it breaks down almost instantly into pure sugar and floods your bloodstream. Your body then goes into a state of alarm and releases a massive surge of insulin to try and get that sugar spike under control. Now, you might think that is just a metabolism issue, but for us seniors, it is much worse. High insulin levels actually act like a physical lock on your muscle building factory at the exact moment your body needs to be working the hardest to repair itself. It literally blocks your muscles from using protein to fix those tiny tears we talked about earlier. But the damage does not stop there. When your blood sugar inevitably crashes after that initial spike, your body enters a panic state. It desperately needs energy, and since the insulin has locked the protein doors, it starts breaking down your existing muscle tissue to create emergency fuel. You are essentially eating away your own strength with every bite of toast. There was actually a major study that followed 2,000 seniors over 3 years, and the results were truly alarming. Those who ate white bread for breakfast every single day lost 23% more muscle mass, so they were significantly weaker than those who avoided it. I remember a lady named Margaret who came to see me when she was 62. She was struggling with all those classic signs we mentioned, like needing to use her arms to push herself up from a chair and feeling totally exhausted after a flight of stairs. She thought her morning routine of white toast with butter was a practical choice, but it was silently destroying her muscle integrity day after day. Once she made the simple change of removing that white bread and replacing it with the power foods we are about to discuss, everything changed. Within just 2 weeks, she regained her strength and told me she felt like she had her 40-year-old body back. It really is that powerful when you stop sabotaging your own progress. But even if you skip that white toast, there is another morning habit that might be sabotaging your progress without you even realizing it. I am talking about that first cup of coffee right after you wake up. Now, I know what you are thinking because I love my coffee too, but drinking it on an empty stomach is actually a primary driver of muscle loss as we age. It is a ritual many of us have, but for our muscles, it is a total disaster. When that caffeine hits your stomach before any solid food, it triggers your adrenal glands to release a massive surge of cortisol, which is your primary stress hormone. You can think of cortisol as your muscle's worst enemy. It signals your body to go into a total survival mode, and when that happens, your body starts breaking down your hard-earned muscle tissue just to convert it into quick energy. It is like your body is burning its own structural beams just to keep the lights on. Even more alarming is that this cortisol spike can actually block a key growth hormone called IGF-1 for up to 6 hours. This means that even if you eat a great protein-rich meal later in the afternoon, your muscle-building machinery stays switched off because of that early morning mistake. There was a 14-month study that really proved this, showing that seniors who drank coffee on an empty stomach lost 22% more muscle mass compared to those who ate first. I once worked with a guy named James, a security guard who relied on fasted coffee to survive his long shifts. He got to the point where he could no longer lift his equipment and was constantly exhausted. He thought he was just getting old, but it was actually his coffee habit destroying his muscles. Once he started providing his muscles with real fuel before his caffeine, he regained his strength. Now, he even has the energy to coach his grandson's Little League team. It is all about the timing, my friend. Now that we have sorted out the timing of your morning coffee, let us talk about the actual food on your plate. You might be reaching for bacon, sausage, or deli ham because you have been told your whole life that you need high protein to stay strong. It sounds logical, right? But here's the thing, my friend. These processed meats are hiding a dark secret that is silently destroying your muscle fibers from the inside out, even while you think you are doing something good for your body. The real problem lies in the chemical composition of these meats. They are loaded with preservatives called nitrates and nitrites. Within just 30 minutes of eating them, these chemicals convert into toxic compounds called nitrosamines right in your stomach. Once they enter your bloodstream, they head straight for your muscle tissue and trigger intense inflammation. It is like setting off thousands of tiny explosions throughout your muscular system. Your immune system sees this as a major threat and starts attacking your own muscle fibers, causing them to swell and break down. But it gets even worse. These nitrosamines specifically target your mitochondria, which are the tiny power plants inside your muscle cells. Without healthy mitochondria, your muscles simply cannot produce the energy they need to function or repair the damage from your daily activities. You are essentially poisoning your strength at the source. There was a study of 1,000 seniors that showed those who ate processed meats just 4 times a week experienced 33% more muscle deterioration compared to those who avoided them entirely. I remember Sarah, a retired teacher who was 67. She was incredibly consistent, eating bacon and sausage every single morning for 12 years because her late husband always told her she needed that protein to stay strong. But over time, she became so weak she could not even carry her own groceries from the car or get out of the bathtub without help. She was terrified she was developing a neurological condition. But after she cut out those processed meats and switched to the muscle-building alternatives we are about to discuss, she felt like a new person. Within months, she started taking ballroom dancing lessons and volunteering at community centers. She told me she felt more vibrant and energetic than she did in her 50s. It just goes to show that once you stop poisoning your muscles, your body knows exactly how to bounce back. Now I know what you are thinking. If I cut out the bacon and the white toast, surely a bowl of oatmeal and skim milk is the perfect, heart-healthy choice, right? My friend, this might be the most shocking part of all because this so-called superfood might actually be starving your muscles of the very nutrients they need to survive. Here is the hidden problem. When the fat is removed from milk to make it skim, you are also removing the essential delivery system your body needs to absorb crucial muscle-building vitamins like A, D, E, and K. These are fat-soluble vitamins, which means that without fat present in your meal, they just pass right through your system completely unused. Your muscles are literally starving for these nutrients while you think you are doing something great for your health. It is like having a car with a full tank of gas but no wheels. You are simply not going anywhere. But it gets even more concerning. The processing that removes the fat from milk creates an imbalanced protein structure that your body cannot properly use. To process this incomplete protein, your body actually has to steal minerals like calcium and magnesium from your existing muscle tissue. You are essentially cannibalizing your own muscles just to digest what you thought was a healthy breakfast. A study following 1,900 seniors for 18 months found that those eating oatmeal with skim milk lost 29% more muscle mass compared to those who used whole milk. I remember Dorothy, a 69-year-old who followed this routine for 15 years. She was obsessed with her health, yet she developed such severe muscle loss that she had tremors in her hands and could no longer lift her 3-year-old granddaughter. She was heartbroken and confused. But once she switched back to whole milk and started adding the real muscle-building foods we have been discussing, her strength came roaring back. Today, she works as a personal shopper, walking miles and carrying heavy bags every day. She realized that you cannot build a strong house if you are missing the most basic materials. But we are not done yet, because there is one more item probably sitting in your pantry right now that is a major culprit in muscle loss. I am talking about those refined cereals that are found in nearly 90% of senior households. You might grab a bowl because the box says it is fortified with vitamins or supports heart health, but my friend, that box is not telling you the whole story. The reality is that these cereals usually contain incomplete proteins. They are missing the critical amino acids like leucine, lysine, and methionine that your body is desperate for after an overnight fast. When you wake up, your body is searching for these specific building blocks to repair your tissues. If it cannot find them in your breakfast bowl, it goes into a complete panic mode. It starts harvesting those very amino acids directly from your own muscles just to keep your organs functioning. Researchers call this protein starvation syndrome, and it is a nightmare for your strength. To make matters worse, these cereals are often packed with anti-nutrients like phytates and lectins. These sneaky compounds bind to the amino acids in your digestive tract and flush them out as waste. This means that even if you eat a healthy piece of chicken or fish later in the day, the cereal you ate hours ago might be blocking your body from absorbing those nutrients. A massive 22-month study of 2,500 seniors found that those who ate refined cereals daily suffered 37% more muscle deterioration. Take Harold, for example. He was a 71-year-old retired carpenter who ate 2 bowls of Raisin Bran every single morning for 20 years. He thought he was getting his fiber, but his hands became so shaky he had to give up his woodworking hobby. Once he cut out those cereals and started eating the muscle-building foods we are about to reveal, his coordination returned. He recently finished a beautiful oak dining table for his family, feeling as strong as he did in his 50s. I know we have spent a lot of time talking about what to avoid, and it can feel a bit overwhelming. But here's the good news, my friend. We are about to turn things around right now. Reversing that muscle loss is not just possible, it is actually quite delicious when you know which tools to use. We are going to start with 2 absolute heavy hitters that can restart your muscle building factory within minutes of your first bite. First up is the absolute powerhouse, plain Greek yogurt. This is not your average snack. It contains a massive 20 grams of protein per cup, which is double what you find in regular yogurt. But the real secret is a special amino acid called leucine. I want you to think of leucine as the master switch that tells your body to start building muscle immediately. Without enough of it, your body just ignores the protein you eat. A study of 200 seniors found that just adding this to breakfast for a year led to an 18% gain in lean muscle. What is even better is that Greek yogurt has a clever mix of fast-acting whey and slow-digesting casein. This means your muscles get an immediate boost and then a steady stream of fuel that lasts for hours. Next, let us talk about what I call the gold standard of breakfast, the humble egg. When it comes to quality, eggs are at the top of the chart because they have a biological value of 94%. That is just a fancy way of saying your body can actually use almost all of that protein to build new muscle rather than wasting it. And here is a huge tip. You must eat the whole egg. Do not throw away that yolk. The yolk is where half the protein and all that vital vitamin D live. Vitamin D acts like a high volume signal, telling your muscles to absorb as much protein as possible. In a study of 1,800 seniors, those eating 2 whole eggs every morning saw a 24% increase in muscle building activity. By putting these 2 powerhouses on your plate, you are stopping that morning muscle breakdown dead in its tracks and finally giving your body the surge of amino acids it has been begging for. You are not just eating breakfast anymore. You are rebuilding your strength from the very first bite. Now that you have your eggs and yogurt ready, let us talk about the perfect partners to round out that plate. I am talking about avocados and lean meats like turkey or chicken. If you want to really supercharge your results, these 2 are absolute essentials. Think of an avocado as your body's elite delivery service. Those monounsaturated fats it carries are exactly what your system needs to absorb all those muscle-building vitamins we discussed earlier. Plus, it helps support your body's natural production of testosterone and growth hormone. We both know these can start to dip as the years go by, but they are vital for keeping your muscles firm and healthy. And if you ever deal with those annoying muscle cramps, avocados actually have significantly more potassium than bananas. A study of 1,400 seniors even showed a 19% improvement in building muscle just by adding half an avocado to their daily routine. Then we have lean meats. I am talking about a few ounces of turkey or chicken breast. This is what I call premium fuel. These meats are a concentrated source of complete protein and are naturally rich in something called creatine. Think of creatine as a natural battery pack that directly increases your muscle strength and power. In a 16-month study, seniors who added just 3 to 4 ounces of lean meat to their breakfast gained an average of over 3 pounds of lean muscle. That is a massive win for your independence. But here is the real secret sauce. When you eat these together, the healthy fats in the avocado help you absorb the amino acids from the meat up to 40% better. This combo gives you the physical energy you need for everything from climbing stairs to carrying heavy bags without feeling worn out. It is a total game changer for your morning. To finish off our perfect muscle-building breakfast plate, we have one final group of heavy hitters that work together like a perfectly coordinated symphony. I am talking about nuts and seeds. While they might be small, they are packed with plant-based protein and healthy fats that your muscles absolutely crave. But the real secret weapon here is the mineral content. Nuts and seeds are incredibly rich in magnesium and zinc. I want you to think of these minerals as the project managers of your muscle building factory. They are responsible for activating over 300 different enzymes that are involved in muscle protein synthesis. Without enough magnesium and zinc, your body simply cannot put that protein to work efficiently. On top of that, the omega-3 fatty acids found in nuts like walnuts are incredible at reducing the inflammation that naturally occurs as we age. This creates the ideal environment for your muscles to recover and grow after your daily activities. There was a massive study involving 1,650 seniors that proved this, showing that adding just 2 ounces of mixed nuts and seeds to breakfast led to a 22% increase in muscle building and a huge improvement in hand function and grip strength. Now, my friend, we have covered a lot of ground today. We have looked at the silent thief called sarcopenia and exposed the hidden dangers of the white bread trap, the cortisol surge from morning coffee, and the toxic inflammation caused by processed meats. We even found out why those so-called heart-healthy cereals and skim milk might actually be starving your strength. But more importantly, we have found our 5 heroes: Greek yogurt, whole eggs, avocado, lean meats, and these powerful nuts and seeds. The biggest lesson I want you to take away from this journey is that aging does not have to mean getting weaker. You do not have to accept losing your independence as an unavoidable part of getting older. By choosing consistency over those old damaging habits, you can effectively reverse the damage and reclaim your vitality. Imagine waking up every day and feeling as strong as you did in your 40s or 50s, knowing you have the energy to do exactly what you love. The choice to wake up stronger every morning truly belongs to you. I am really curious to know your thoughts on this. Which of these 5 foods are you going to try first, or did any of those breakfast mistakes surprise you? Please leave a comment below and let me know your experience, because we are all in this journey together. Stay strong, stay consistent.